If you're struggling with the idea of accepting responsibility, like for the things you create, if you're struggling to accept that the things you struggle with are also part of your creations, because it's like it feels like victim blaming and like how could you ever be responsible for shit you hate? What I've been doing is the language that's gentler is thinking that everything is me pushed out and everyone is a mirror. Because a mirror for me, I guess it has a much more neutral connotation, whereas saying I'm responsible for my creations, that idea of responsibility feels like a weight. But mirrors are neutral, right? And a mirror just reflects what it sees. And so that completely removes the charge of like positive and negative and blame. So if you think of yourself as a mirror and you think about, let's say a relationship where somebody treated you poorly, you felt your needs weren't being met. You know, you have a person who kind of talks your ear off and they only call when they need something or want to vent and you're the agony aunt and there's never space for you. That sucks. And initially and fundamentally feel like a victim of that circumstance. Well, you are certainly the receiver of that. But when you think of it as a mirror, you're like, okay, well, or even a better way is like, if this was a play, if this was theatre and I was watching this as a third party, how would the person who wasn't getting their needs met be acting or not acting in such a way that contributed to what they're receiving? And it's like, okay, that person isn't voicing their needs. The person hasn't asked for me time. The person doesn't feel comfortable to and feels like the other person should read their mind and read the room. Like if you've been talking for 1, 2, 3 hours and I've not shared, surely that should be your cue. Okay, so like immediately acting like it's a play you're watching or acting like it's a mirror that is simply responding, you can kind of see things clearly. And then you might jump to feeling defensive and it's like, oh, but I didn't ask for my needs to be met because I felt like if I said that, then it would be obvious that actually I'm tired of listening to him speak all the time. But the more you question yourself, like, and you do it without judgment, like there you are. So you thought you'd offend them, and so you didn't ask for your needs to be met. That's not blame, but it's saying, okay, well, that's the root cause. You don't think you are worthy of taking up space. That's the root. And also you think your truth will hurt people. And also you think, even if your truth hurts people, which it might do, that you are not worth the offense somebody might take from a truth, which is neutral, a truth which isn't offensive, but somebody who isn't a good match to you might find that offensive. The wrong kind of person would find the fact that you have needs offensive. And so, but we only get there if we are willing to see our role. And we aren't willing to see our role if we're afraid that seeing our role, like that act, that will be blamed for our role. And you're not going to be blamed for your role. So it's like, yeah, maybe thinking of yourself as a mirror or as a person watching these actors. If this was a play, if this was a story, how would you kind of psychoanalyze the characters? That's something that's helping me really create distance between me and my actions and my non-action so I can see it for what it is. Because it's an algorithm, in my opinion. A lot of reality creation is just an algorithm, and algorithms and math is neutral. It's just that you had an input, for better or for worse, actively or passively, with or without your intention, and then there's a result. There's a converse, reaction. And that language is, oh, Jesus. I think I'm being told to go home and eat my cake. I hope that's helpful. That helps me. That's helped me. And interestingly, with the reality creation, it's like it's not about adding methods and adding more affirmations about how safe and good you are. It's about removing the ones that actually are keeping you in shame and humiliation and lack. And that needs honesty. And you have to do the work of taking responsibility. On and on and on and on.